Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome to part 2 of my updated movie collection series of videos. Last time we left off with Hours. To me, a very underrated Paul Walker movie. I talked about that at the end of the last part. Always felt this film needed to be talked about more though. One of the last films he did, one of the best films he did. Great. Again, just his daughter, his baby daughter, his baby daughter dependent on a ventilator. No one's around to help. Hospital has been hit by Hurricane Katrina. Life and death decisions of him trying to keep his daughter alive. Great performance. And before I get into the others, I have this stuff in the other room because this is stuff that I wanted to watch and review and or just watch for fun. So it was in the other room. But before I forget, I know Ash vs. Evil Dead's out. I don't care about that anymore. But I do want to watch the other Evil Dead films and review them. So I have the Book of the Dead of Evil Dead 1, which actually, if I press on this, it's crumbling. It really is crumbling. Like, literally, if you probably can't hear that, but you hear like cracks. So yeah, even if I open it to, it'll crumble, or it's starting to crumble. And I haven't used this that much, but I mean, it was an interesting way of doing it. I mean, looking like the Book of the Dead, you have an ear on the back, and then you have pictures like this. Very cool to collect. And I keep this first off because it's a cool looking DVD set for the first movie, and it has a booklet written by Michael Felsher, and then the disc, which actually I think this has something that's not on the other ones, which is a little documentary Bruce Campbell made called Finalysis. So I keep it also for that. I think they did one of these for Evil Dead 2, but I'm like, I don't need, I'm fine with this. And then I picked up this, the Ultimate Edition, which looks great. Opens up like this. I don't need this on Blu-ray. It's Evil Dead. HD. Doesn't need an HD. Well, I definitely don't need on HD. And I'm not going to take it out, but that right there, there's actually a poster in it, which looks like this. I just never thought to hang it anywhere, to be honest. And that's what each disc looks like. I got this because, first off, looks nice, opens up nice. But mainly it's a 3-disc set. The first disc has, this is the main reason, One by One We Will Take You, the untold saga of the Evil Dead. And then it has the features from before, the commentary with Sam Raimi and Robert Tapert, the commentary with Bruce Campbell. This has the Evil Dead, Treasures from the Cutting Room Floor, Life After Death, The Ladies of the Evil Dead, The Ladies of the Evil Dead meet Bruce Campbell, Discovering the Evil Dead, Unconventional, At the Drive-In, TV spots, reunion panel, trailer, makeup test, still gallery, reunion panel and poster and memorabilia gallery. But yeah, it has quite a few features, which is why I got this. I definitely want to review these separately. I did it just in one video, but I want to do them separately. My favorite, Evil Dead 2, the 25th anniversary Blu-ray, which has a shitload of features, as you can see, which is why I got it. Definitely my favorite. I had Army of Darkness this way in the Boomstick 2-disc edition, which has a little promotion for the game, which I enjoy this game. I think this is a fun game. I wish they made a movie based on this game. I really do. I really enjoy this one. And then like a little booklet from Bruce Campbell with some words and stuff in it. There's words and stuff. And it just looks like this. Pretty much this had, again, well, I didn't say it. Director's cut and the theatrical cut. Behind the scenes featurette, The Men Behind the Army, narrated by Bruce Campbell. This back in the day when he had Anchor Bay doing stuff. Where are they now? Are they still around? I guess I'll put that back in there. Of course, recently I showed you I got the Collector's Edition Blu-ray, which I have not checked out yet, but I do. Which has the theatrical cut, the director's cut, the international cut, the TV cut, a 90-minute documentary, the original opening, deleted scenes, US trailer, TV spots, video promo, behind-the-scenes footage from TMB Effects, vintage making of featurette, creating the Dead Eyes featurette, extended interview clips. I wonder if one of them is that The Men Behind the Army. I don't know. If so, I'll keep that because that's... I'm not sure if that's actually on this one. Still galleries are rare behind-the-scenes photos, international trailer, anyway, extended interview clips, a lot of stuff in it. I showed this before. I put this on DVD-R, The Army of Darkness. There's 3 versions on this film. The middle one has the deleted scenes, including stuff in the TV cut, put back into the theatrical cut with the S-Mart ending. So it's, for me, the ultimate version of Army of Darkness. And then I also had Mosquito, which I got on Blu-ray. Haven't checked this features out yet, but I want to. I should show this when I show my other Ninja Turtle stuff, but I made a little bonus disc of extras. Mayhem from Moon Island, which the 2003 cartoon, one of the things that happened was they made these little mini episodes online, and if you put them together, it forms one episode. So I try to put them all together. Also, this company, or these people called Peach Nova, made these little cute little shorts, TMNT shorts when the 2003 cartoon was on. I try to put a lot of that on there. I try to put the trailers and TV spots for the first live-action movies. The making of coming out of their shells, and just for completion's sake. Behind the Shells, which I have on that DVD, but again, just because I think they added like a little extra thing at the end, so like little extended interviews at the end. It was on YouTube at one point, but yeah, just a little thing there. Of course, I was wanting to watch this again. Hard Target. My friend Mike made this cover. I had edited I took the word print and I made an edit with the theatrical cut. I talked about this in my review of Hard Target, where I put a lot of the uncut stuff back in. I deleted some of the stuff that the word print I didn't need, like the extended love sequence. Not a sex scene, but like some lovey-dovey stuff that wasn't needed. Certain tweets and edits, just made my own edit of Hard Target. I used the extended ending on the theatrical cut to put on the word, because in the word print version of Hard Target, you don't have the scene with Van Damme having that fight with Lance, and Lance having the stick of wood on fire, hitting Van Damme, and Van Damme breaking it, punching shit out of him, dropping the grenade in his pants. It's pretty much Van Damme doing that super kick and then throwing the grenade and it ends. So in the theatrical cut, they actually extended that ending. So I took that ending, put it into the word print so that, you know, it's the full ending, and then left all the uncut word print stuff in there, and then just did my own edits. I took out, like when in the word print, when Lance Henderson's on the piano and you see the real life animal killing, I took that out, put the theatrical version in there. So I did just my own edit that my friend Mike put on DVD-R. Because I only had like a couple DVD-Rs, like a handful, which is why I was able to put this and Army of Darkness. I mean, I only had like a handful. And when he did this, I didn't have any. But thanks to my friend Mike, who made this cover, as well as putting that on DVD-R for me. And this one I want to review sometime. I know there's an Arrow video release that has features, which sucks because I don't have a Blu-ray that's region-free, so I can't see it. And that's Rollerball. Love this movie. Think it's a great film. Fuck the remake. One of my favorite James Caan films. Think it's a great movie. So, with that out of the way, we have Con Air. I know there's a director's cut, but I don't even know what the difference is, so I'm fine with this. Con Air, which I'm surprised this has no special features. I don't know if that one has features, but yeah, that's Con Air. Really enjoy this film. The best thing Simon West did, to be honest. I wish Expendables 2 was as cool as this, but it's not. Congo, I reviewed this film a long time ago. It's still up on my channel. I always thought this was an underrated movie. I never understood the hate for this film. I never read the book. I don't give a shit about the book because I like the movie. And Bruce Campbell dies at the opening. Ernie Hudson doesn't die. It's not like Leviathan where he dies at the end, although Leviathan is one of my favorites. But that's always one of those funny things. But Ernie Hudson did a great job. Laura Linney, Dylan Walsh, Tim Curry, Frank Marshall directed this. Oh, okay, that name sounds familiar. Yeah, I've always enjoyed this movie. Never understood the hate for it. Pretty good Richard Donner film, in my opinion. Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson, Julia Roberts, and Patrick Stewart. Conspiracy Theory. Cop. Awesome film with James Woods. Has one of the best endings. What was it? You're right. You're a cop and I have to take you in. But I've been suspended and I don't give a fuck. And just unloads his shotgun right into the killer. Just a great ending. That just such a bad. Go on YouTube, search out for Cop, James Woods ending, and you'll see what I mean. Just an awesome ending. And great performance by James Woods. Cradle to the Grave. I do like the film. It's not perfect by a long shot, but I saw this in the theater. I have fun with the movie. I definitely have more fun with this. I don't mind Romeo Must Die, but I had more fun with this. And I like that song. It's gonna give it to you. The Core. I've always enjoyed this movie. People go, well, it's silly. Well, most disaster movies are silly. Pick a disaster movie, there's silly shit in it. I don't care which one you pick. Tower and Inferno. I think if I watch that again, I can tell you some silly shit. Beside Adventure. Shelley Winters is an Olympic. The Shelley Winters character is a great swimmer. I don't buy that. The Core, I think it's an entertaining film. I think it's a fun movie. Aaron Eckhart, Hilary Swank, Delroy Lindo, Chetty Cario, Richard Jenkins, Stanley Tucci. I liked the idea, the fact that it's them going into the core of the earth. And yeah, there's a lot of silly shit in it, but I think it's fun popcorn entertainment. Pretty decent special effects. A new location to go to for once. It's not into space, or it's not just the city gets destroyed, that's it. It's going to the core of the earth. I just thought it was a cool idea. Not original, I'm sure they did it like at the Earth's core and stuff, but it was nice to see that kind of idea put into a big budget. So I have fun with the core. I'm not ashamed to admit it. The Crow for the Brandon Lee collection. Quite a few features. Always hard to sit through this because it's not fair, but this movie killed Brandon Lee. I just always think if Brandon Lee did not do this movie, if he said no to it, well, unfortunately, then someone else probably would have died, so that's not any better. But it just pisses. This movie just pisses me off. Just all the movies Brandon Lee could have done just pisses me off. Dante's Peak. I like Volcano more, but this one has grown on me, and it takes a little bit. It takes too long for stuff to get going, but when it does, it's actually pretty entertaining. Some really good special effects. Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton, I think, do a good job. So yeah, it takes a while for it to get going, but when it does, I think it's a pretty entertaining flick. Oh, the guy who did Species did this. Roger Donaldson, the director. It says collector's edition, but well, there's a making of from back in the day. This is when Universal actually did shit for their movies. Then you have Darkman. And actually, I don't really need this anymore because I have the Blu-ray. But I'll keep this because, well, actually that has the cover as well. So I forgot, but yeah. I have Darkman on DVD. I have this on Blu-ray though, which you'll see. But, oh well, I'll keep it. Fuck it. And from then on, I think I can just turn around and do that, which make it a bit faster. Got this used very, very cheap. The Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks. I remember Tom Hanks being good. Kind of an interesting story, but I remember it being way too long. It's 149 minutes. Just way too long of a movie. Way too long, but I get a little bit of okayness out of it. Datebreakers, pretty decent vampire film with Ethan Hawke and Willem Dafoe and Sam Neill. I remember it just being a visually good-looking movie. Very underrated action movie, Dead Calm. Dead Bane. Dead Calm is another film. Dead Bane. That is a stupid title, Dead Bane. That's one thing I gotta say. I love this movie, but Dead Bane. What the fuck is a dead Bane? That's like if you have an STD hooker and you fucked her. That's a dead Bane. He died. How'd he die? From a dead Bane. I mean, great performance by Don Johnson. He did a great. Jerry Beck is the character's name. John Frankenheimer directed it. I think this is a very underrated movie. No one ever talks about Dead Bane. And I wonder if it's because of the title. It's just, what the fuck is a dead Bane? He was banged so hard, dead. But I think it needed a better title. But despite the title, the shitty title, I think it's a damn good action movie with a really good performance by Don Johnson. Which, yeah, is one of those flimsy Warner Brothers DVDs. Death Race, which I do enjoy, with Jason Statham. I liked it better than the original. I was never a fan of Death Race 2000. So I like this movie more. Just me. Death Sentence. I like the film, but it's not a film that's easy. It's not a rewatchable movie for me. I mean, I keep it because I like Kevin Bacon's performance, so I'll watch it for that. But it's not a movie I rewatch a lot because if you think about it, he goes on this revenge, but then he gets pretty much everyone in his family killed because of it, except maybe his one surviving kid. But his woman dies from it. He dies from it. I want to say someone else does, but I could be wrong. But his kid's definitely in the hospital, coma or whatever. Maybe that's what they were going for. Like, revenge doesn't help. But to me, I guess I'm in that mind frame. Revenge does help. But yeah, anyway, death sentence. Still a well-made film. And then for the Death Wish collection, I have the first one, which I'm honestly not a big fan of. But it's not an awful movie. It's just I prefer the sequels more. Well, I prefer some of the sequels more. But Charles Bronson still, he does a good job. It's just I grew up with the sequels more. And this is much more of a sort of different animal, different pace. And then I have, actually I think I have this on a, yeah, Death Wish 2. Which actually, why don't I do this? I'll put this in here so this case, but Death Wish 2. And the case of Death Wish 1. My all-time favorite, Death Wish 3. Very entertaining movie. A load of fun to watch. A lot of action. Another one I really enjoyed, Death Wish 4, The Crackdown. Although it's weird at the end, he kind of gets his woman killed. The guy's like, drop the gun, and he doesn't. So he kills his woman, and then he shoots that grenade launcher and blows up the bad guy. I'm like, you idiot, you got your woman killed. I mean, really, Paul Kersey failed at the end, but still some fun action. But it's like when you look at the ending again, maybe I'm alone with that. Death Wish 5, The Face of Death. I think this one pretty much sucks. It looks like a cheap movie. Seems like a very low budget film. Seemed like a pretty slow pace flick. I don't know. I don't remember much about this flick. I think it was at this point I'm like, yeah, maybe Charles Bronson is getting a little bit too old for this. The other movie is a film called Double Whammy with Dennis Leary, Elizabeth Hurley, and Steve Buscemi. And then an underrated Tony Scott film, Deja Vu. Always liked this movie. Never understood the hate that it got. Thought it was a very entertaining film. And I can at least put this away before I start doing that. Detonator and Detonator 2 with Pierce Brosnan. Both directed by David S. Jackson, which I don't know who the hell that is. But yeah, Detonator and Detonator 2. Domestic Disturbance with John Travolta and Vince Vaughn. Double Jeopardy with Tommy Lee Jones. Drop Zone and Hard Rain. I especially like Hard Rain. I think that's a pretty underrated movie, actually, Hard Rain. Drop Zone is, yeah, it's there. Eagle Eye, really enjoy this film. Again, decently underrated. Well, I like the film. I think it's more than decent, but do I call it? Yeah, I would say it's underrated because this film gets a lot of hate from people saying it's too silly, too outrageous, too unrealistic. but I really enjoy this film. I'd rather watch this than the Transformer films, to be honest. Eastern Condors with Sammo Hung. Remember this being a very... The action scenes by Yuen Woo-ping is actually directed by Sammo Hung. Really good action scenes. It's sort of their version of the Dirty Dozen. Yeah, that is really the case. U.S. Pentagon sends a group of Chinese prisoners as decoys for a secret mission to destroy an ammo dump the U.S. Army left in Vietnam when it pulled out. I remember they were at that... What was it, like a... I forget. I'm trying to remember exactly. Oh yeah, Yuen Biao and Corey Yun is in this. The reason I'm starting, I'm trying to... When did I first see this? I think it was on cable. I'm like, what is this movie? Because at the end it was like at some type of underground base. That's what it was. It was some underground base. And just being some really good fight choreography within that. But yeah, that's one that's definitely worth a look if you like Sammo Hung, you've never seen that. That's definitely one you guys should look up. There we go. You have Endgame with Cuba Gooding Jr. Also has James Woods. You have Enemy of the State, which I really enjoy. You have Equilibrium. To be honest, I think Christian Bale's best film. And Extreme Prejudice with Nick Nolte, as well as Powers Booth, Maria Conchita Alonso, and Michael Ironside, directed by Walter Hill. Remember the trailer being pretty misleading on that movie. For those who've seen the movie, you know what I mean. In the last part 1, I talked about the sequel to this, and this is the first one. Every Which Way Blues. With Clint Eastwood and Clyde. Executive Target. This is a PM Entertainment film with Michael Madsen, Roy Scheider, and Keith David as the bad guy. This is one of those films that this is a low-budget PM Entertainment film, and there are so many car crashes in this movie and car explosions that if you play one of those drinking games and you'll be dead from alcohol poisoning. I mean, this is one of those films that has so much action. Plus, it's nice to see Michael Madsen as a good guy, because it's pretty rare. But yeah, I mean, not much to the story, but if you just want to see action, and it's all practical. A 3-pack of Face Off, Snake Eyes, and Bring Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage. I like all 3 of them. Face Off, I do feel it's a bit overrated though, because they don't want to give Hard Target or Broken Arrow the pass, or the time of day, but Face Off always gets the pass in time of day, and I'm like, I'd rather watch Hard Target and Broken Arrow, because I think they're better action movies, because I think they're more fun, they're more entertaining, they're faster paced, and I care about those action scenes more. And Face Off is not a bad movie, though. It's just, I do feel it's a bit overrated. Just, again, fuck you, Hard Target, fuck you, Broken Arrow, it's only Face Off. More like fuck off. Falling Down, which I think there's a special edition of this that would not mind getting one day, but until I have this, Falling Down. Really good movie, Michael Douglas. 50/50, very underrated, fun movie with Peter Weller and Robert Hayes. Um, Entertaining, good sense of humor to it. Just one of those underrated gems for me, 50/50. Yeah, Find Me Guilty. Very good performance by Vin Diesel. Shows that Vin Diesel can act. There's another one that was sent to me, Flashpoint. I reviewed this film. Pretty damn good flick with Donnie Yen. Has a really good fight at the end. Flashpoint. Freedom Land. I think a pretty good drama with Samuel Jackson, Julianne Moore. That was well directed and pretty good score. Just really liked the story to this film, Freedom Land. Thought Samuel Jackson's really good. Free Jack, film I grew up with ever since I was a kid. I have fun with this movie. You have Emilio Estevez, Mick Jagger, Anthony Hopkins, Rene Russo. I have fun with this movie, Free Jack. Hit between the eyes. Yeah, Ronald Shusett, who helped co-write Alien, helped write the... Yeah, Alien Total Recall, Ronald Shusett. He helped write those two films. He helped write this as well. From Paris with Love, I think a pretty underrated action movie. I thought this was a very fun movie. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, I would have preferred someone else, but John Travolta is a hoot in it. Well done action sequences by Pierre Morel, who did the first Taken movie. I'll do this. A 2-pack with The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals, which I enjoy both of the films. Full Metal Jacket. I actually bought this online because I swear, maybe not nowadays, but I swear at the time, you could only find this in a Stanley Kubrick set. I didn't want those. I had those. So I went on, I believe, eBay, and I found this to buy separately. It has a commentary with Adam Baldwin, Vincent D'Onofrio, Arlie Ermy, screenwriter/critic, which they're all in separate rooms. But you also have a making of the film, Full Metal Jacket Between Good and Evil. And I enjoy this movie. It's one of my favorite war films. FX, which I think this has a Blu-ray release that I would like to get one day, because I enjoy this film. But FX. Brian Brown is this special effects guy that is hired to fake this hit, but then the guy gets killed for real, and Brian Brown gets blamed for it, and Brian Denny has to sort of clear his... Brian Denny is actually not in this that much. He's in the sequel more. Like, he has a small... He's... trying to think. He doesn't come into quite a while into the film, like either 30 minutes or an hour into the film, and quite a long time. But pretty much Brian Brown using his special effects skills to get away from the bad guys, to clear his name, which I thought was a really interesting idea. And of course, there's a sequel directed by Richard Franklin, who did Psycho 2 and Road Games, FX2. Which I enjoy this film as well, which I think this also got a Blu-ray. I'd like to grab those someday. Gamer, I reviewed this film. I think it's a very entertaining film with Gerard Butler. General's Daughter, that was a pretty good drama / thriller. John Travolta did a good job. Ghost Rider, this is the 2-disc extended cut. Has 3 making of documentaries. features chronicling the comic book history, commentary with the producer, the commentary of Mark Steven Johnson, and the visual effects supervisor. I like this movie. I'm not ashamed to admit, I like the film. I'm entertained by the film. The sequel, I tried to get into, but it just didn't hold up. But I like the first one. And I'm fine with saying that. I did not buy these. These were given as gifts. They were from my mom, and you'll see that once in a while. She knows I like movies. So, G.I. Joe. Wait. I know. Maybe. No. She gave me this one, the sequel. And then I found this for like $2-3 and said, well, if I had the set. I'm just one of those weird guys that does I collect. If I have the sequel, but I don't have the first one, there's that part of me is like, I should have the first one just because I gotta find it at least for cheap. I'm just weird like that. So she had given me the sequel. She said, hey, it's The Rock and Bruce Willis. Which, I don't blame her for that. So I got the first one for cheap, which is this 2-disc edition, which has a making of the film and all this stuff. Marlon Wayans, Channing Tatum, or Tatum, or Taintum. There's one that had fucking snake eyes with stupid dick-sucking lips on his mask for some fucking reason. And G.I. Joe has super suits. Because, yeah, that's just like the cartoon. And yes, but yeah, I mean. But I also now have the sequel. The Extreme Action Cut. Extended. Yeah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Bruce Willis. These are just disappointing fucking movies, but why don't you get rid of them? It's from my mom. Cut me some slack. A better movie, Give 'Em Home Alone, with Thomas Jane and Ving Rhames. Thought this was a pretty good flick. It kind of blew its load at the beginning of the film, because the beginning has this great bloody action sequence, and the film never rises up to that level after the beginning. But it's still a pretty good film. Oh yeah, directed by Russell Mulcahy. I forgot he directed this. And then some stuff that I forgot to mention. Well, I have lots of way to go anyway. I like this TV show. It only lasted one season, and that's Grade the Bunny. I like the show. Thought it was interesting, different. Tired of being treated like a lowly puppet, Grade the Bunny persuades his human roommate, Seth Green, to get him a job interview with the director, Eugene Levy, of the Sweet Knuckle Junction TV show. It's like you have puppets and humans. We're in a world together, but it's more crude than, say, the Muppets would be. And Fox fucked with this show, fucked with what they wanted to do, so that's probably why it only lasted one season. Because it started off as something on IFC, which is what you see on this. The Best of the Film Parodies, Volume 1, which they parody Pulp Fiction, 2001, Fargo, Ed Wood, The Godfather, Eraserhead, and then Volume 2, which they parody Blue Velvet, Freaky Friday, American Movie. And it also has quite a few features as well. But I enjoyed this stuff. And then, did Pit on the Road Season 1. I did not grab the other seasons because they're just they just cost too much for me, especially when I can see them on YouTube for free. But I'm like, you know what? I like these guys. I wanted to support them. And you have these bonus features as well. So, I don't know. Whenever I get caught up with all the other stuff I want to get, maybe I'll grab the other ones, but we'll see. Okay, let me go through a couple things here. I just have on like case, well, no cases on it, but Blood and Bone, sent by my good friend Efrey, sent me this, which didn't realize this is a DVD-R, so I hope it still works. I don't think it, well, is it a DVD-R? Actually, it looks like it. Hopefully it still works, but Blood and Bone. Pirates of the Caribbean and Transylvania 65000, which I have fun with. Swamp Thing, got this on, what was it? Actually, I think someone actually sent me a double of that, but because they didn't know I had grabbed this. It was on eBay again, where when someone gets a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, sometimes people sell the DVD copy, and I'm like, I'll take that because it's very cheap. And I don't need it on Blu-ray. I just did not have the film, and I thought this had really good features, and they were. I liked the features on that. This is a film I actually don't mind, Sister Act. So because I got that, I also got Sister Act 2, which isn't as good. And some of these were like ones I got for $1, and some that was sent to me. Like this is like back in the day I got these real cheap. This is before I have another set which I'll show you down the road, like Fists of Fury and the Chinese Connection, and I got A Knight's Tale, and someone has sent me this Legend of the Fist, The Return of Chen Zhen with Donnie Yen, and Highlander 2, the Renegade version. So we got stuff like that. Let's get through this. Actually, oh yeah, someone sent me this, but it's not the same case, but the actual DVD's inside of Gleaming the Cube. Just the cover they had. I had bought this originally, and it was a bootleg. But then someone was gracious enough to send me the overseas DVD, which I didn't know the film was released on DVD overseas. So now I officially have it on DVD. I don't know why this film does not have a DVD release in the US, let alone a Blu-ray. I think it's a great film with Christian Slater. I reviewed this movie. I think it's a good story of a guy who's a skateboarder whose stepbrother is murdered, and he wants to find out why he was killed, and everyone thinks it's a suicide, but he doesn't believe it. And yeah, his adopted Vietnamese brother is killed. I thought Christian Slater did a really good job, and it's a nice little story to it, and I really enjoy that film. I think I first saw that on cable. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. Gone Baby Gone, starring Casey Affleck, directed by Ben Affleck, also with Morgan Freeman, Ed Harris. I liked this film. Thought it had a good story to it, good acting. Green Lantern. I'm sorry, I do not hate this film. And actually, I think I can get rid of this because I believe I have the blue. Yeah, I have the Blu-ray of this now. But I enjoy this film. I've never hated it. I never really understood the hate for it. I thought it was a fast-paced film. I thought it was a. I think Ryan Reynolds did fine. Thought the special effects looked pretty good. And I didn't read the comics. Maybe that's why. I think Green Lantern is a fun movie. I don't get what the big deal is with that movie. The big hate for it. I don't really get it. Gridlot, which I had fun with Tim Roth and Tupac Shakur before he passed away. Of course, I'm like, well, of course it's before he passed away, unless this is his ghost. But I don't know, I don't know why I said that. It's before he passed away. No shit. I thought it was after he passed away. It's just his ghost came back because he was bored with the afterlife and wanted to act. But I still like this film, Gridlot. I think it's a pretty fun movie. Then you have The Guyver, which has some good effects, but isn't too great with anything else. And the much better Guyver 2. Much better movie. It's R-rated, has a better lead and David Hayter. Definitely better martial arts fight sequences. Better movie. And then Gunman, very entertaining film with Christopher Lambert, Mario Van Peebles, Dennis Leary, Patrick Stewart, Kadeem Hardison. Very entertaining film. Kansas City Sun News pretty much says it best with that review. So, very entertaining movie. This. So I can put this away. No, that doesn't go there. Settled. Alright. Another one of my favorite war films, Hamburger Hill, 20th Anniversary Edition. Some pretty decent features on it. Always enjoyed Hamburger Hill. Hard Boiled, great movie by John Woo. My favorite of his Hong Kong action films. Well, Hong Kong films, period. But very, very, very good action movie. Hard Boiled. And I got this mainly. It's two David Bradley films, Outside the Law, but I got this mainly for Hard Justice, which pretty much is David Bradley undercover in a prison. Charles Napier is the warden. Some really fun action sequences. Like the director definitely was inspired by John Woo. And for a low budget film, getting some pretty good action sequences and stunts. Hard Justice. That's what I mean. A lot of these films you look back, it's like, for a low budget, they had some really good action and stunt sequences, but they don't want to do that nowadays. This is a film that just what I hate, but I'd never. It's not that bad of a film. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson. I know Mickey Rourke hates this film a lot. He's ashamed that he did it all. Of course, Mickey Rourke is a bit fucked up. Let's be honest. He is. Heat. Great crime drama. Did one of my favorite films with Michael Mann. I don't know why I said it again because I didn't say it the first time, but Force of Habit. I'm not sure if this has a special edition. Maybe it does. But great film. Great cast. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Tom Sizemore, Val Kilmer, Amy Brenneman, Ashley Judd, Michael T. Williamson, Wes Studi, Ted Levine, John Voight. I think Tom Noonan is in this. Jeremy Piven is in this. A lot of people in this. Love the soundtrack, especially that Moby song at the very end of the film. Great ending. Just love that movie. And of course, Hellboy, which I enjoyed. And Hellboy 2, which is a 3-disc, but I think 1 disc was just a digital bullshit, so it's really just a 2-disc with features. Over there. We got one of my favorite Burt Reynolds films, Hooper, who plays a stuntman. And I like the fact it takes place while they're making a movie, and you have these really great stunt work. And John Michael Vincent, Sally Field, Brian Keith, directed by Hal Needham. Great sense of humor, very funny, excellent action stunt sequences, and just a really cool idea. Just about Burt Reynolds as a stuntman who, during the course of making this film, just really, really good movie. I would say probably my favorite Burt Reynolds film. If I had to pick, that'd be my favorite. This is another film that gets a lot of hate. I don't think it's that bad. I saw this in the theater. I know my friends Mike and Effrey don't like this film either, so I'm alone in this, but that's fine. I enjoy this film though. Hollywood Homicide, directed by Ron Shelton. I just thought Harrison Ford was really good. He was having fun with the film. I don't mind Josh Hartnett. I really don't. I thought it went at a good pace. Wasn't really bored. Is it one of the best buddy cop movies? Not by a long shot, no. But I think it's an entertaining film. I guess I'm not alone because it got 2 thumbs up. But I enjoy Hollywood Homicide. I never really understood the hate for it. The Hunted, very, very underrated movie by William Friedkin. Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro did an excellent job in this. Pretty much being a Rambo fan, if you take First Blood, the novel, you made that into a movie, you get The Hunted. And this is just an excellent film. Love this movie. I saw this in the theater too. It was a great experience. This is another one that it's on DVD, but it's one of those stupid Warner archives, so it's a DVD-R. So there's still DVD-R, but it's If Looks Could Kill, but with Richard Grieco. Directed by William Deere, actually, who would go on to do Harry and the Hendersons. But I enjoy this movie. I think it's pretty much a high school guy goes with his class to, I believe, France, and they mistake him for a secret agent. So it's a teenager who gets mistaken for a secret agent, goes through all this crazy stuff. I think it's a fun, entertaining action movie. Doesn't deserve not to get an actual fucking DVD release and not a Warner Archive bullshit. Inside Man with Denzel Washington and Clive Owen and Jodie Foster. To be honest, one of the only, the only Spike Lee film I give a fuck about. I am not a fan of Spike Lee. I'm not a fan of his movies. There's one he did about the Summer of Sam, that's what it was called. I think why I like this film, it's just more of a straightforward heist movie, thriller, this bank robbery that goes out of control, cat and mouse between Clive Owen and Denzel Washington. Then you find out, like, Clive Owen is not, it's not what he seems. And I thought all the acting, I thought it was a pretty good film. This is another one that was sent to me that I really wasn't a fan of, Invisible Target, but I reviewed the film. So you check out my more in-depth thoughts. I don't think it was a long review though, because I just didn't have much to say about that film, to be perfectly honest with you. These fucking things keep falling. Probably do this, then stop, get on to part 3. But Iron Man, the Ultimate 2 Disc Edition, which has quite a few features. And then this was sent to me by my good friend Afri. I don't mind the film. It's not as good as the first one. But Iron Man 2, I'm sure someone's going to ask, you don't pick up Iron Man 3? No. Not unless someone sent it to me. Or my mom one day comes in and says, hey, look what I got for you. I'm stopping by. I got you a movie. It's Iron Man 3. You like Iron Man, right? I'm like, thanks, Mom. It's Mom. You gotta accept gifts from Mom. Come on now. But, yeah, Iron Man 1 and 2. Jackie Brown, which I thought was a pretty decent Quentin Tarantino film. Has quite a few features. I can't go in depth on all of these, just it'll take long as is. Underrated film by Stephen Hopkins with Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Dennis Leary, and Stephen Dorff. Judgment Night. Really enjoy this movie. Just another victim, kid. Johnny Handsome, which I saw this and was pretty disappointed in it because, okay, Mickey Rourke, Morgan Freeman, Lance Henriksen, directed by Walter Hill. I don't know, I just did not get much out of this film, though, to be honest. Did not get much out of this flick. Jurassic Park Adventure Pack. I know there's a Blu-ray set of these, but I just, again, don't have the money for it, so I'm fine with the DVDs for now. I know the Blu-ray has like a new making ofs, but again, I'm fine with these for now. Maybe one day. One day. K9, the Patrol Pack. I actually really enjoyed the first movie. I think the first movie is a lot of fun. I think the first movie is entertaining. The sequels are there. I mean, at least James Belushi came back, but definitely enjoy the first one. Fun movie. And again, the sequels are there. It's K911 and K9PI are the sequels. Then the Karate Kid movies. The Karate Kid Part 1. Well, the Karate Kid, which has a special edition. Fun commentary. Also has with John Avildsen, Robert Mark Kamen, Ralph Macchio, and Pat Morita. Has a multi-part making of featurette. Beyond the Form featurette. And unfortunately, they did nothing for Part 2. Just a little feature from back in the day. Which, this is actually my favorite of the Karate Kid films. 3 and 4 I actually have, because I found it for like $1. It's somewhere in one of those, it's in one of these things. It's somewhere over there. And then Kill Bill, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I think overseas they released a set that combined these two, but again, I don't have a region-free Blu-ray player. And I'm fine with these. I'm perfectly fine with these. And I enjoy them. I saw them in the theater, actually. And the first one I like more, but I still like the second one. And I think with that, we'll end it. Because I'm coming up at an hour. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay tuned for part 3. And considering I've only gone this far, it is going to be a long one. So we will see you later, and see you in part 3.